That being said, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the regular meeting for the North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission for Thursday, June 21st. In attendance are regular members, excuse me, DeFrancesco, Sienna, and Dulac. First order of business, minutes. We can't do those because there's only 2 people here because I haven't been here. So we'll pass on that. We're going to go right to new business.
Okay. So, this is the first time that you're hearing this.
Okay.
We accepted the application. It's for a proposed 3-lot subdivision at 67 Totucket Road. And we have the applicant, or the consultant for the applicant.
So this is for the subdivision?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So the project has already been approved by wetlands.
Okay.
And, the subdivision plan is in front of you. And I've sent some referrals out. Maybe I'll just, do you want me to go through those quickly? Or do you want to hear from the applicant first?
We'll do this first, yeah.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Ted Hart.
Ted Hart?
Ted Hart, H-A-R-T. I'm a professional engineer with the firm Malone and McBroom. I'm here tonight on behalf of CW Landmark Group LLC. They're the applicant for this 3-lot subdivision at 67 Totucket Road. The parcel size, the total parcel size is 20.1 acres. The proposal is to divide it into 3 lots. Lot 1, which is this lot at the top of the page, is 5.9 acres. Lot 2, which contains the existing building that is to remain, is 1.6 acres. And Lot 3, to the south, is 10.6 acres. And there's also 2 acres of open space, which is kind of off the map here.
Can I just interrupt? This is the old silly putty.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
correct. Yeah, this building right here is the Silly Putty
Okay.
manufacturing facility. So in general, the land slopes from a high point up near the town line of Branford and slopes to the northwest down to the northwesterly corner of the property. There's a drainage swale from the drainage system that heads off towards Burr Brook. So basically, other than the area right around the existing building, it's all wooded and relatively steeply sloping as you get to the back of the property. All the utilities for the 3 lots are located in Totucket Road. There's gas, electric, telephone cable, water, and sewer. So as was mentioned, the wetlands has approved this. We designed the stormwater runoff system to collect all of the roof leaders and put it into underground galleys and collect the first inch of runoff off of the roofs. We've also got a soil erosion and sediment control plan. We've got the construction entrances at each driveway. We're not planning as part of this application anything new on Lot 2. That's just to remain as is for now. We've also shown temporary stockpiles with silt fence around them for each of the 2 residential lots. We've also provided inlet protection on the catch basins that are right past the new driveways on the state highway. We provided erosion control blankets on areas that are steeper than, that are 3-to-1 slopes around this Lot 1 home. And I think that's all I have at the moment. We are working with Kurt, and we have to go to the WPCA on the 2nd, I believe it is, the 10th, July 10th. So So we still have to get that approved. There is, as I said before, there is sewer that comes up to, it's right here. And we're gonna be basically extending it to, just a little bit to get to, lot 3.
So lot 1 and 3 are gonna be residential,
Yes,
and then the building is gonna stay
yes, an existing,
well, at least for now.
at least for now, existing non-conforming use.
Right.
I think that's the plan. I know that the applicant is looking for a tenant. Doesn't have one at the moment, but if a tenant comes in and wants to make changes, you know, more parking or anything like that, they'll have to come back to planning and zoning and wetlands, so.
And then the other thing, I'm not sure if maybe I heard wrong, or did you say open space or wetlands behind it?
Open space.
Okay, and who owns the open space? Is it
It-
part of this
It's part of the parcel.
Oh, okay, all right, I wasn't sure if it was
Yeah.
just butting up to somebody else's open
Right.
space.
Well, it is as well.
Okay,
So,
so you mean that section where it says open space 88,000, that's town open space? Right here?
that is proposed open space,
Okay,
Proposed open space.
and then it is next to existing open space that is owned by the land trust.
okay, gotcha. Yep.
So the recommendation would be that the land trust possibly take ownership of the open space that would be created as part of the subdivision, and we had talked with them about that during the wetlands review process. But I've referred it to the land trust as well, so someone's coming in tomorrow to take a look at the plans.
Okay.
So I don't have comments back from them yet,
Right.
but it would just make sense, and I believe the town of Branford owns a portion of open space, dedicated open space as well to the south.
Yes, they probably do. The town line goes right through here.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So
Do you want to do the, okay, so,
you can kind of get it in
well, on this
your
page,
packet,
the
yeah,
second
on that
page.
one as well.
Yeah, the second
Right
page.
where you are, Ron, right where your right hand is the open space.
Oh, yes.
So that's the proposed open
Yep.
space to the left, and the current open space is the block on the right. Right.
I never realized there's an easement.
Yeah,
Drainage, is that?
Oh,
or where?
easement.
The
is that an easement?
70-foot easement. Or is that, or am I reading that wrong in the upper corner?
Upper right.
Oh, that's setbacks, those are setbacks. Sorry, where,
Right here.
This thing. It's up there, it says
oh, up
easement.
here, there's an easement, yes, the drainage easement in the corner here.
And what's this back here?
These are just showing setbacks, this
Oh,
is the
oh, 15,
proposed
oh,
property
gotcha.
line,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
these are the setbacks.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I thought that was the easement.
No, the easement, see the arrows pointing to that ditch there, the drainage ditch?
When you first
Oh,
said easement,
yeah.
it looks like there's access to the open space here.
That's a big
This
lot.
strip here goes to this open
Mhm.
space,
Mhm.
and then we're providing open space there.
Yeah, yeah, like you said.
No,
Or
I-
us-
No, it's
I was
not.
reading, I was
This-
reading this note, and I
Okay.
was
So they're
going
proposing
down this way.
crossing
Mhm.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
are all the building
Setbacks,
setbacks,
yeah.
yes.
that, and then a house like here. One
wanna-
of the things that the resident or direct abutters mentioned during the wetlands process is concerns about potential contamination, just given the history of the use at that site. So, the applicant's engineering firm also submitted, a phase 2 environmental assessment that was done on the property that dates back to 2004. So that showed that there had been an underground storage tank that was on the property, and there was some, residuals, like, petroleum or something in the ground, in the soils, but they excavated all of that out in 2005. So as far as, I wanted Bill to take a look at it, you know, just because he has experience reading these, but, I'll email that to all of you so you can take a look as well.
Right.
But
And
as far as I can
just-
tell, it's,
Yeah, and just to
It's
follow up, TRC was the engineering firm that did the environmental phase 1 and phase 2 back in 2004, 2005. And their final comment was that they don't recommend any further monitoring of the groundwater. They felt that everything was cleaned up. I mean, it was basically, there was an fuel oil tank for the building right at the north side of the building, and it probably leaked, and they took out quite a bit of soil and removed it from the site.
Did the abutting neighbors have contamination in their?
No.
They had wells, I would assume?
I don't know.
Okay.
They had more just suspicions
Okay.
of
Yeah.
potential.
Mhm.
I don't think that they knew about this report.
Okay.
Okay. You wanna go through the referrals?
Sure, just some other, items. It doesn't seem like sidewalks make sense here, so I would think sidewalks and curbing, so as part of their, request for approval, I would imagine there would be a request for a waiver of sidewalks and curbing.
Mhm.
And also, street trees don't seem to be necessary because it's currently pretty wooded. So those are just some observations.
And plus on that road, I don't think you want trees coming out of the driveways.
Right.
On that road, especially around where that is. That's where I think that's where the first curve is,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
If you're coming from
Yeah,
Totucket
yeah.
south,
Yeah,
yes.
There is a bit of a curve here.
yeah, so I would agree.
So that was one of the comments that our zoning officer had. He just wondered about the sight line, if there were any issues, or if the driveway on lot 3 met whatever sightline distance requirements there might be.
I believe it does. We have looked at that. I don't have the numbers, but when we go for a curb cut permit here from DOT, they're gonna be looking at all of that. So,
Plus, this has to come back for site plan too, no, or this?
No.
Okay, all right.
Now, this being a state road, are there any other requirements that are above and beyond what we have?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, there's a few, plus one.
yes,
you
we,
said.
for a contractor to come in here and build a driveway, they have to get a curb cut permit from DOT, give DOT a bond. It's a process. They don't just let you start digging in there right away. So.
I have a referral from the Regional Water Authority. It is dated November 20th of 2017. Ron Walters has seen the proposal, but he also saw it when it was before wetlands. So he said that he'll revise the letter, but for this evening's purposes, I'll just let you know that his comments are generally based around stormwater management during construction and also post-construction. And because this is within the Farm River Public Water Supply watershed, just making sure that all fuel and hazardous material storage is properly secured. East Shore Health said they've reviewed the proposal to construct 2 new homes on public water and public sewer. We recommend approval. The police department, Lieutenant Lovelace, said that he has reviewed the accompanying documents regarding planning and zoning 2018-8. I feel that if this project were completed in accordance with the documents that have been provided for my review, there are no objections by the department. Building department does not have any issue with the proposed subdivision. All new construction must comply with building code in effect at time of building application. The town engineer, as Mr. Hart mentioned, has some comments regarding the sewer connection, so just showing the state right-of-way on the west side of Totucket Road, and the relationship to the right-of-way and the proposed sanitary sewer extension, and checking with Connecticut DOT for comments and requirements regarding the driveway cuts and proposed sanitary sewer installation. And basically more details about the sanitary sewer connection. The fire marshal said he has no problem with the application as long as the owner, occupant, applicant follows all Connecticut General Statute, NFPA, Connecticut State Fire Safety and Prevention codes. I also did send it to the town of Branford and the Land Trust, and am waiting any comments from them. I guess the only other comment that I have is I can work with you and the assessor to come up with street addresses and map and lot numbers.
Great.
So if we could just include those on any final plans, that would be great.
So we're just continue this to our next meeting, which is,
July 12th.
and what we have is, you're gonna work on the addresses, we're gonna hear back from the land trust and.
WPCA.
WPCA.
For
For
the
sewer
Yeah,
connection.
yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So I think that's everything. Is there anything else? Do you have any questions of me?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
All right. Okay, so there's no other new business, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so then we're gonna go to planning items, and the first one is the text amendment.
So I'm going to request that we continue this because I still need to send the proposed language to the town attorney. I just wanna
Okay.
get their feedback before we submit anything. That way, if we need to make any major changes, we're not doing it during the public hearing process.
I'm not go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you still have to check, see if we were able to separate them, or we
Yes.
still? Okay, that's part of that.
Yeah.
Right, because that's what we
Did I-
had talked
because-
about, right, because I think we may want to separate them.
Yeah.
And have two separate motions, even if we discuss them, we can probably open them both at the same time and talk
Yeah.
about them, but then have two separate motions.
Cause I couldn't remember if I texted you or not.
You did, yes,
I
yes,
was-
yes.
All right. Okay, so that's gonna be tabled to, July 12th as well. Okay.
And update on the POCD, so I think I had mentioned this at our last meeting, but just to reiterate, the Plan of Conservation and Development, request for proposals to update the plan has been issued, so that's available to consultants, and those are due July 12th, actually. So we'll be receiving submissions. At some point, well, actually, maybe we should talk about it briefly now. I'm wondering if you have strong opinions as to who should be on the subcommittee, maybe not necessarily people, but, you know, someone from the Planning and Zoning Commission, someone from the Land Trust, maybe our economic development person. Do you want someone from outside of town, like a town planner from an adjacent town or nearby town? Because I'd like to get that underway, so at least once we get the proposals, then we can
Go right
keep
into
it moving, right, go into the review and then get into the interviews in August.
So I'll just throw an option out there, doing a lot of RFPs myself.
Yeah.
What I tend to do with the group that I'm kind of representing is, I'm just gonna throw a number out, we bring in, say, 10 to 12 people, they're all the subject matter experts, and they might have some day-to-day operations,
Mhm.
but then out of the 10, maybe only 5 actually score the RFP.
Okay.
So, you know, you have a stake owner and a business owner, so they're kind of like the scorers.
Yeah.
But everybody puts their input in, you know, has a discussion, even though they may not be scoring on it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's a way you wanna do it, to bring in just to have a larger conversation,
Sure.
to gather more information, then whoever those scorers are, if it's the complete, you know, if it was our complete, planning and zoning group that scores it,
Yep.
based on the comments and the proposal, so be it, or, you know, or you have, you know, economics development score, you know, have one person from there, maybe 3 from
Mhm.
here, whatever it might be. But I think the more participants, you get other people to view it. You know, maybe even
So-
somebody from the town council, like even one
Sure.
person, just not as a
Yes.
score, but them as a view, you know, a viewer and a commenter on it.
Okay.
And that's what we were thinking of, even like the last meeting, the past few
Right.
meetings, we were talking about having that, like how you mentioned, you have whoever it is that's gonna be the scores at the very end, but it's like expand it so you include all those different viewpoints. Yeah.
So I mean, usually I try to keep it, if, to no more than, I mean, if you have 12 people, then you probably want 5 scores.
Mhm.
I mean, 7 starts to go too heavy,
Mhm.
but 5, a minimum of 5 probably, if you have 12 you know, a little less than 50% usually.
Right.
But you want more than 3, and you don't wanna land it on an even number,
Right.
so.
Okay.
But-
I think 5's good.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you have, you know, 10 to 12 people, that'd be
So
perfect.
if you could just help me, so if we start with like the smaller group of who we would suggest to be the scorers, and then kind of build from there. So again.
I would say at least, I
Someone
mean,
from
I would-
and Z,
I was gonna say 3 from P and Z.
okay.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
just throwing a number out
Yeah.
there. I'm saying
Yeah.
3 from P and Z, and then the other 2.
Counting me or not?
No, I'm not counting you as.
Part of P and Z?
Yes, so I'm thinking like.
3 P and Z plus myself,
Right.
and then one other person?
1 or 2. I mean, if you have to go to 6.
6, okay.
You can go to 6.
Hello. It's okay.
Oh, I get yelled at when I don't, which it's okay.
6:30. Kept thinking.
That's okay, don't worry.
Sorry.
That's all right. Hopefully we're moving fast.
Huh?
We're moving fast, so we're almost.
So what type of SMEs do we need?
Sorry?
Service matter experts? SME,
Subject.
Oh.
subject matter experts, that's
Oh,
I've never heard that term.
I'm just using the term SMEs from where I work. I'm just saying that we take a number of people, and those are the SMEs, but I'm just saying, if we wanna get other people into the conversation.
right, that was my
Yeah.
question. How many,
So I-
experts in what area, what expertise?
I think, so all I can speak to is what the process I was part of in Branford, which was, excuse me, I think 3 people, two or 3 people from their planning and zoning commission, their town planner, their economic development person, myself, so someone from outside of town. And that was it. So 5 of us.
But as far as, like, yeah, so I mean.
So I think that, to answer your question, so economic development, I think,
Yeah,
planning and zoning,
that's fine.
regional, regional view. I would say if we had someone who was like a housing expert, that may be part of the larger group, that would be ideal. Open space,
I was gonna say something from the land trust.
Right.
Yeah, One-
other expertise, I mean, town council.
something from the town council. Like Al might be able to I mean, I'm not sure about housing, but I'm not sure if he could, somebody from town council could
Right.
fill both roles.
I mean, the land trust kinda covers the environmental, but thinking about like wetlands, so wetlands water course, because we have so many. Even, the regional water authority, I mean, that's another thought, just because they have so much land in town. It would be nice to have buy-in, especially if there's conversations of trying to work with them to open up some of their lands for hiking trails, so that we can have that dialogue and start putting it in there, or the agricultural community. I don't know, the chamber. But I think that our economic development coordinator, I mentioned too that we have an economic development coordinator now. His name's Roger Sawe, he's excellent, so I think having him part of it.
So if we keep those, so let's say 3 from our team, yourself, economic development, that's 5 scores. And then like you said, add something from the land trust, town
Mhm.
council. I mean, if somebody from, what's that, COG? No,
Yeah, the regional
I mean,
council of government.
Yeah, even if and we could share it with them if they can't make it here, so, I mean,
Mhm.
just putting input in it.
And the water company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Jack Crasco, right?
Yes.
He's our
Yes.
interface.
Liaison or whatever,
Liaison.
right.
Well, for regional water authority?
Mm-hmm. What about the ag community? I mean,
Yeah, that's.
you have a great perspective, obviously.
Yeah.
Being on PNC, we get that
Yeah.
benefit.
Do we need anybody, representing the town on like this building, schools, future of the school, police station, whether it's gonna, I mean, right now it's not going, but I'm saying whether to build a new one. I don't know if, again, I don't know if that'd be something for the town council or.
Right,
So-
it could be.
Yeah,
Right.
or maybe even,
Well, and I think the details of those, so as part of the planning, as part of the update of the plan, we'll be talking about those concepts generally to
yeah,
say,
good point.
so that'll be
Yeah,
discussed
yep.
during the update, but, so this is, part of the, just reviewing the proposals, to say who's qualified to help us figure out you know, a timeline of when we should look at those things, like all of those things that you mentioned. I
Could you
think.
put somebody from the chamber?
No.
Or, or is the economic,
Chamber or even just our EDC.
yeah, yep.
So, like, this would be Roger, whereas the other might be just a member. Okay, that's very helpful.
Yeah.
So are you picturing that this larger group, everyone would get copies of all of the proposals, we'd meet once after everyone reviews them and kind of rank them generally, and then we would meet a second time with the smaller group, and only those 5 people would be part of the interviews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good, yep. Now, does the, town manager need to get involved at all?
Yes, I mean, I think as part of this larger group,
Yeah.
but I don't know that
Yeah, that's
he would
not like the
have to
larger
be,
group.
yep,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking you might need someone from the Board of Education, cause they're like a satellite
Yep,
and don't report to the town manager.
right. And I think this could be a good opportunity to bring the town and the Board of Ed together.
Okay.
I know, but there are
could
other
pick-
communities, so
yeah.
I have, you know, the planning conferences that I've gone to, actually in Salem, Massachusetts, where I used to work, they did, a big planning project, and it was part of they have an open space plan, not plan of conservation and development, but same concept, where they worked with the town hall, the schools, and then their chamber, to just do a big push of like the, I forget, whatever, big anniversary it is for the city.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Salem, Mass?
Mhm.
Which is coming?
Mhm.
Spooky. Are you, you could be.
Oh, thanks.
No, I know, you can spell, so I'm not, all of a sudden, ever since I've been here around you, my eyes are going, my elbow.
I was just
I was
saying,
trying to
can you
fix
see the
them.
broom
Yeah.
marks
I was
outside?
trying to fix them.
And she got some of those mushroom roots, put them in a bowl in water.
You notice I don't bake for the group, that's maybe why.
All right.
Okay, that's good.
When will we hear back? Since they
So
went over-
July 12th, they're due back.
Okay.
This is the plan of conservation and development.
Hey, if somebody asks for extension, will we be able to grant it?
We could,
I don't know if
We
there was,
could.
okay.
yes. Yeah, we're not set on a really hard and fast deadline, but my goal was to have proposals in, you know, in July, so that we could have the interviews in mid-August, and then have someone under contract by September. Because we need to have it completed by next July.
And Town planners report?
So I've just received one application, it's for 1831 Middletown Avenue, and it's a special use permit application for the existing storage units up there in Northford, but they wanna have outside storage now, so they need a special use permit for outside storage.
So-
Remember, he came before us,
Mhm.
and he was explaining that he only has a few vehicles out there, but, Tom Hogarty was encouraging him, if you even have a few, if they're not going away,
Yeah.
just clean it all up, get the right permits, so that we know exactly where they are, so that's
I mean,
what they're
he
doing.
does, he only had, there was like about, last I saw, maybe like 5 campers and
Mhm.
a couple other vehicles. It wasn't a lot, but
Right.
like Tom said, you might as well.
Right.
Yeah, yep.
So, we're setting the public hearing for July 12th.
Everything's happening on July
At
12th.
6:30.
Jeez.
Yes.
I think you should send around a reminder, you know, during the day, and then a couple hours before that starts at 6:30.
I did.
You said it was
I
going.
was checking my
My head.
availability for the
Oh, wait.
12th.
Can I do that? I have to check it out. I might be able to send an invite
Oh,
to everybody for the whole, every meeting, just put it on their calendar.
okay.
It's on my calendar, I just ignore it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I know, I
Right,
know about it.
right. Yeah, dismiss.
I know, I have like 8 other meetings. One starts at 7:15, one starts at 7, this starts at 6:30. I'm all confused.
Well, and then we change it on you.
I know.
We're gonna change it back to 7,
Yeah.
I think. Is there anything else?
No? That's everything.
Somebody?
A motion, we adjourn.
I second.